I feel like anybody who's been through some tough times can definitely relate to what Trunks' character really is. And so today, guys, I just wanted to talk about Trunks and his unique story. Starting off with Future Trunks, he comes in Dragon Ball Z, he kills Frieza, and I just want to say this right now, the way that Trunks came in and just took down Frieza like it was nothing, it was so unique to see. In my opinion, I feel like this was the best part of Trunks for me, honestly, because I feel like seeing how Trunks just came in and took down Frieza like it was nothing and then kills King Cold. It was so cool to see because during this time, this was off the Namek saga, so this was when Frieza was looked at to be the terror of the universe, and everybody was scared of Frieza because of how strong he was. But to see how Trunks just came in and demolishes Frieza and King Cold, and then he goes Super Saiyan, and everybody's all in shock of this. The Z Fighters and him, they wait for Goku to arrive, and Trunks and Vegeta are definitely having their moments where they're looking at each other because, well, to Trunks, it was more so like he never got to see his father. So to finally see what Vegeta was like, it just kind of gave him this, like, wow, so that's what my dad really looks like, and that's what he's really like. And I think that's just such a neat moment, in my opinion, because it's really cool to see how Trunks really is happy to finally get to see what Vegeta was. I know it doesn't get really talked a lot about in Dragon Ball Z, but I just wanted to point that out. Goku shows up. They have this fight where they both go Super Saiyan against each other. And this was so cool to see because Trunks was using his sword, Goku was just using his finger. And the fact that Trunks and Goku were the two only Super Saiyans at this time of the show was so wild. Everybody was shocked. And it just felt so surreal to see two Super Saiyans. Trunks and Goku have their moment where Trunks is telling Goku about the androids, and he tells him about the heart virus. And Trunks gets very upset because he notices, there's nothing he can do to stop the androids, and in his timeline, everybody's wiped out. Can you just think about that for a minute? You're the only person left in your timeline. Yeah, you have your mom, but when you think about it, it's pretty messed up because Trunks is the only guy in his timeline who could stop the androids. And you lost your father, you lost all your friends, your mentor Gohan is dead. And I just think that seeing how Trunks just really is having a sad story, it really makes you feel for him because it really just is, it makes you kind of relate to him in some way because it just sometimes you feel like you're really on your own and you have to figure out what to do on your own. 3 years pass, Trunks comes back. Trunks didn't want to fight the androids because he knows how much of a terror they were. He tried to stop Android 18 from killing Vegeta. He was trying to track down Cell. Him and Vegeta went in the hyperbolic time chamber. And I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to see more of their training and what happened in their training to make them, come out the way that they did, feeling extra confident to take down Cell. I know we saw more of Goku and Gohan, but I feel like if we saw Vegeta and Trunks, it would have been really cool to see because of just simply, okay, so we're seeing what kind of father and son relationship these two have. Now, obviously, Vegeta may be more hard on Trunks compared to how Goku is to Gohan. But the only reason Vegeta does that is because you gotta remember where Vegeta comes from. He's the prince of all Saiyans, so of course he's gonna treat Trunks like he should be better. I just thought it would have been neat if we saw more of what kind of training those two were doing. So they come out of the hyperbolic time chamber, they go fight Cell. Vegeta lost to Cell, and then Trunks goes Ultra Super Saiyan. Trunks goes super berserk, looking ripped, and he just is looking like an absolute beast, and he's actually going to take out Cell. Well, the problem is Trunks lost to Cell. He did have the power to stop Cell, because that's the thing. He had the power to stop Cell, but the only problem was he was just too slow. And that's what Cell even said. Cell even told Trunks, he could do it too. and increase his power. But the only thing that slows him down is his giant muscles. Something interesting about this little nod here of how Trunks got super big and increased his power and everything was, if you actually think about it, it's actually like how Gohan was able to go Super Saiyan 2, but he was able to master the speed and he was able to have his power. Trunks was able to just increase his power, but he wasn't able to increase his speed. So Goku and Gohan were able to realize, like, hey, we know how to go Super Saiyan, like to achieve past Super Saiyan without, slowing our body down. Cell says he's going to hold the tournament. Trunks isn't really doing anything for the rest of the saga. Cell came back, he killed Trunks. Obviously, you already know the whole story. Vegeta went berserk, and Gohan beat Cell, blah, 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 blah. But when Trunks wakes up and finds out that Vegeta attacked Cell for killing him, it really made Trunks feel astonished that Vegeta did that. Vegeta may treat Trunks like he's nothing, but deep down he does care about Trunks. He does really respect Trunks. He does appreciate Trunks for what he's done because Trunks has gone through a whole lot in the show. I just think that what Trunks was doing in Dragon Ball Z in terms of the Cell Saga, it just was so neat to see. I really wish we got to see future Trunks come back in Dragon Ball Z. Granted, he did come back in Dragon Ball Super, but that's a whole different story for a whole different day. He goes back to his own timeline, and he stops the androids, and then he finally stops Cell. And he just looks up in the sky, and he just says thank you to everybody. I love this scene so much because I really think the scene is really heartwarming. He finally got to where he wanted to be. He finally got that win. And it's kind of funny if you think about it, because Trunks is a character who beat not only Frieza, but he beat Frieza and the androids and Cell. And then later in Dragon Ball Super, he technically did beat Majin Buu since he stopped him from hatching. And sure, he didn't really have like those big remarkable moments besides the whole fight with Frieza and then the whole moment where he came back to the future and stopped the androids and Cell. Like, I feel like those two moments are his best moments in terms of the Dragon Ball Z story. Again, that's just my opinion. But again, I think his whole story is unique. I love everything about just what he was going through and how he was struggling in his timeline and how he was struggling to try to find a way to stop the androids and find peace back to his world. There's nothing really much for me to say about Trunks, so I just wanted to make a video about Trunks. And let me know, guys, what do you guys think of Trunks and his whole story in Dragon Ball Z? You really understand what he's going through if you've been through a tough time. You understand exactly what he's doing and everything about his whole story. So you guys should just let me know. What do you guys think of Trunks? Yeah, so that's really all I have to say for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!